You're building quietly, consistently, doing the things most people around you aren't doing. And then the phone rings. It's your mom. It's your brother. It's your cousin who's just a little short this month. It's your friend who's been struggling and needs help with rent. And because you're the one who has it together, because you're the one who saved, who sacrificed, who made the hard decisions, it lands on you. Every single time, it lands on you, and you help. Because you love these people, because you were raised to show up for family, because turning your back on someone you care about feels impossible when you have the ability to say yes. But nobody talks about what that actually costs you. Not just the money, the life, the weight of being the financial foundation for people who never planned to build one of their own. That's what we're talking about today. No judgment, just truth. The reality of being the one. There's a name for this in the personal finance world, being the financial first generation in your family or circle. You're the first one to get the income, the savings, the financial literacy, the stability. And with that comes an invisible tax that nobody warned you about. It shows up in 100 different ways. It's the $300 you send every other month because your sibling's budget never quite works out. It's co-signing the loan you knew was risky because blood is blood. It's the parent who calls in crisis because they didn't save for retirement and the bills don't stop coming. It's the friend who borrows and never pays back but would be devastated if you stopped picking up. And here's the brutal honesty. The money is one thing. The psychological drain is another entirely. When you are the financial backstop for the people around you, you carry a kind of stress that most wealth-building content never addresses. You can't fully invest in your own future because part of your income is always pre-allocated to someone else's present. You can't make bold financial moves, career risks, business investments, real estate, because you can't afford to have a down period. Too many people are depending on the numbers staying stable. You become a private institution, and private institutions don't get to have bad quarters. What it's actually costing you. Let's put numbers on this, because this is a financial channel, and feelings without math are just feelings. Say you're giving or lending, let's be honest, usually giving, an average of $400 a month to people in your circle. Maybe it's $200 to a family member and $200 spread across a few other situations. That feels manageable. You're not even thinking about it as a fixed expense, but $400 a month over 10 years, invested instead at 8% average annual return, is $73,000. Over 20 years, it's $235,000. That is not a judgment on your generosity. That is the mathematical cost of being the one everyone calls. And you deserve to see that number clearly, not to make you stop helping, but so that you are making an informed choice every time you say yes, rather than an automatic one. Because here's the part that really stings. The people you're supporting are not building toward anything while you support them. You are funding their present at the expense of your future, and your support is often removing the urgency they would otherwise feel to fix their own situation. That's not help. That's a system, and it's a system that works very well for everyone except you. The guilt mechanism, why you can't just say no. I want to address the guilt directly, because that's the real mechanism that keeps this dynamic locked in place. The guilt is real. It is not weakness. It is the product of genuine love, cultural upbringing, and a very human instinct to protect the people you care about. If you grew up in a family or community where collective survival was the operating system, where everybody pooled resources and nobody got left behind, then saying no to someone who needs help doesn't feel like a financial decision. It feels like a betrayal of identity. And the people in your circle, consciously or not, know this. They know you'll answer. They know you'll figure it out. They know that your discomfort with their struggle is greater than your comfort with your own financial boundaries. And so the calls keep coming. Here is the reframe that changes everything. You cannot be a long-term resource for anyone if you deplete yourself short-term. This is not selfish. This is structural. The airplane oxygen mask instruction exists for a reason, because a person who passes out from lack of oxygen cannot help the child next to them. Your financial health is the oxygen mask. It is the prerequisite for sustainable generosity, not the obstacle to it. The most generous thing you can do for the people you love is build real, lasting financial stability, so that when a genuine crisis hits, you have the resources to actually show up, not give away your stability in $300 increments until you have none left. The framework: how to show up without going down. So how do you actually navigate this? Practically. in real conversations with real people you love. Here's the framework I want you to adopt. First, define your giving budget before the ask arrives, not in response to a call. Before it, decide deliberately, in a calm moment, what you are genuinely willing to give per month to people outside your household. Maybe it's $150. Maybe it's $300. Maybe it's $0 right now because you're in a critical building phase yourself. Whatever the number is, that's your number. Every request gets measured against it. When it's spent for the month, the answer is no. Not because you don't care, because the budget is the budget, and you made that decision when you were thinking clearly, not when you were on the phone feeling guilty. Second, shift from giving money to giving tools. If someone in your circle is chronically short, month after month, year after year, money is not actually solving their problem. Money is covering a symptom. What they need is the same financial literacy that changed your life. Sit down with them, share what you know, point them to resources, help them build a budget. Be generous with your knowledge, which is unlimited, instead of being endlessly generous with your cash, which is finite. Third, make peace with disappointing people you love. This is the hard one. Some people in your circle will be hurt or angry when you start drawing limits. They will frame it as you changing. They will say you've forgotten where you came from. They will make it about loyalty. Let them feel that and hold the line anyway, because the alternative, being endlessly available as a financial resource until you've compromised your own future, doesn't end with everyone happy. It ends with you depleted, resentful, and no closer to the financial freedom you set out to build. That outcome helps no one. The people who genuinely love you will eventually understand, and the ones who only valued you for access to your wallet will reveal that, which is painful but important information. Let me leave you with something that I think about a lot when it comes to this topic. The people in your circle who call you, who lean on you, who depend on you month after month, they are not bad people. Most of them are genuinely struggling. Most of them genuinely love you. And most of them have never had a single person in their lives sit them down and show them a different way to operate with money. You did. Somehow, whether it was a book, a video, a mentor, a painful experience that forced you to change, you found a different way. And that is not a small thing. That is a rare thing. And it came with a cost that most people never acknowledge. You probably sacrificed things to get where you are. You said no to yourself, to trips, to upgrades, to comfort, so you could build something real. You made decisions that felt lonely at the time because nobody around you was making them. And now, having done all of that, the expectation from your circle is that your reward for being disciplined is to become their safety net. That is not a fair exchange, and you are allowed to say so. Not with anger, not with resentment, but clearly and without apology. Here is what I want you to carry forward from today. Generosity is a virtue, real, genuine generosity, giving from abundance, giving with intention, giving in ways that actually help people grow, is one of the most powerful things a financially stable person can do. But generosity that comes from guilt, that comes from the fear of disappointing people, that comes from an inability to hold a boundary, that is not generosity. That is a slow leak. And slow leaks, if you don't fix them, will drain even the largest reservoir. Fix the leak, not by closing your heart, by opening your eyes to what sustainable generosity actually looks like, and building toward that instead of bleeding out in increments trying to get there. Your future self, the one who actually gets to financial freedom, who actually has the resources to be there for people in a real and lasting way. That version of you is depending on the decisions you make right now. Don't let guilt write the check. Let intention write it. If this video resonated, if it names something you've been carrying without the words for it, please share it. Not just like it, share it. Because there are people in your life right now who are the one in their circle, quietly exhausted, quietly depleted, and they need to hear this too. Subscribe if you're new here. This channel exists for the people who are serious about building something real, and that includes building it without losing themselves in the process. Take care of yourself first, then take care of everyone else. In that order, always in that order. See you in the next one.